it's Chris and Rich from the Foiling Mag, here to do a deep dive review on the Flysurfer TAO wing, which is pitched by Flysurfer as their all-round free ride, freestyle, surf-focused wing. Comes in a big range of sizes, all the way from 2.5 right the way up to 7 meters.
So this is the hard handle version. So the TAO is now broken into 2 different versions, which you decide on at purchase. You either have the hard handle, which bolt on and off here, or you have the soft handle, which is similar to the Mojo, which is those little ribbed kind of nuggets with incremental grips. So the first thing to talk about really is the hard handles and how they felt, Chris, like compared to the soft one.
Really rigid. They've got this oval shape, haven't they, which it kind of locks into your fingers really nice, I found. Yeah,
it sits in the small of your fingers nicely. These are carbon, I believe, with plastic ends on them, kind of end caps. It's not too aggressive on the board, but you might want to think about kind of covering those up a bit if you're one of those people that belts it like that. Overall though, it made the wing feel much more direct than with the soft handles. It's really good back to back, isn't it?
Yeah. It felt rigid for its pros and its cons.
Yeah.
I found like the soft handles are nice when it's gusty and there's a bit of pounding. But do you feel like these are a little bit more locked in and rigid and you feel a bit more?
When you're whipping around your manoeuvres and you need to spin the thing over the head, you've just got that little bit more leverage. And I think, if you bring it up and do like a Heineken jibe or something like that, these feel, far more direct. But as you said, gusty, horrible conditions, a little bit more suspension required perhaps. So coming back to the kind of overall design, the canopy is in masses of different sections here. So it's all quite well tailored and sort of drawing load down towards the tip there. The section in the back here is relatively deep and it's a pretty chunky old strut on there as well. So that's definitely going to promote like a powerful shape, which is what we kind of found. One of the really key things as well is this extra long strut. You can see the trailing edge there really swings into this, and this is like kind of a foot longer than some other wings we've seen.
Yeah, probably. Really unique shape. It took a bit of getting used to this, I think, because when you're flying it, it's a bit longer in your arms, and then as you came through a jibe especially, it tended to drop down, and so I felt like it needed a bit of adaptation to put a tighter turn in to get used to it.
Yeah.
But then when you drop in on a wave and you want it to behave itself, I thought that really was a good benefit to this wing.
Yeah, so the great thing is you can almost use it like a maypole. You can pivot around the thing, you bring it down on the front handle, purposefully dip that tip and then work round it, and it makes it trail really well.
It behaves itself so nice, and whereas a squarer wing, sometimes as you push it down, you run the risk of that tip catching. Yeah. I think the design feature of this allows you to keep the tips up so it's always sitting flat, never flipping, but you can just drag it down. Even on onshore winds, it felt like it was gonna never flip.
Yeah. Valves wise, we've got these really nice flush ice up valves that make it super easy to get pressure in nicely. I'm a big fan of these valves.
Get it so stiff, can't you?
Yeah.
Really easy.
And the leash never tangles around them because they sit flush. So that's a really nice design there. It comes as standard with this waist leash, which has this super nice double Velcro closure on. So this is really secure. So it kind of whips over there and then over the top again. It's a bit like a kind of back of a surf leash. But this is really nice, really comfortable, and it allows for a little bit of travel around your back. So the leash is an absolute winner as standard, I'd say.
Really smart, that. It's got leash points on the sides as well, so you could attach it in place or you could run your board on there as well. It's a good feature. It's
really nicely put together. So from a performance perspective, Chris, how did you find the TAO?
I enjoyed it. I thought this was a great wing. Straight away when you picked it up, I felt like it had loads of bottom end power. It's obviously got a really full belly, and you can see that belly really stays full all the way to the back. So I felt there's a lot of power on tap in the backhand, and you could get up and go real easy. But quite often on a wing which is that powerful at its bottom end, you might struggle to slice it into the wind on its top end.
Yeah, they feel a bit more downwind biased, don't they?
Yeah,
I think because the profile is shoved so forward, it seems to pull in a forward direction pretty positively, I found.
So it shoots upwind.
Good. Yeah.
And then through the tacks, it slices lovely up through the wind without any dramas whatsoever. Really balanced. You can feel it's really light on the tips. So it took a bit of getting used to as you come through the turns that it might felt a little bit sort of unstable a little bit, but as soon as you sheeted back in, there's so much power in the back arm, you could just right your wrongs.
There's loads of sweep in that leading edge, and then the tips are slightly inflected in here, so they'll turn in at the end. And I think that really helps with like dragging them on the water.
Yeah.
They just seem to bounce back up, don't they?
That's a standout for me with this one, I think, is in really average conditions, it was behaving itself well.
Yeah.
You know, you could drop in on a wave onshore. A lot of wings might swing and get in your way in front of you, and you're struggling to get them to behave.
Yeah.
Whereas I felt through its design features, you could just push it down and it would grab the water and stay exactly where you wanted it.
One thing I have noticed with both the TAOs is there's quite a lot more canopy tension built in, which is something we're seeing from this kind of next gen of wings now. And you really notice that running into wind hard when it's offshore or throwing around your tacks. This section holds its shape and it doesn't flap too much.
And even in the jumps, I mean, jumps isn't really something which I'm into, but started pushing into jumps, started trying new things, and I felt like this was really confidence inspiring with it. And I guess that tension, you know, it was rigid as you went up, and then really forgiving through the air as you're searching for power on your landing through that tension there.
So overall, we just found it a very friendly and usable free ride wing. I think massively improved with the rigid handles, because I found the other TAO just a little bit too soft. So if you're looking for something more dynamic, definitely go for this handle setup. But generally, it's just a very balanced, pleasant all-round wing.
Could do everything. Whatever your riding style, I figure you could use this and you can have a great time with it.
Yeah, it's extremely friendly. Mr. Friendly, the Flysurfer TAO.